Hi. Song of the day is December by Nora Jones. This is the Cotton Candy Clouds podcast, the podcast that discusses too much of nothing and a little bit of everything. The metaphysical, wacky news, history, psychology, social media, movies and television, culture, and the season of autumn. The Cotton Candy Clouds podcast exalts randomness and discusses a smorgasbord of topics with a myriad of theories and perspectives, added with my opinion and interpretations and perspective of it all. I'm Fee, and I'm so glad you are here with me. It is December. Word of the day is convivial. Convivial. It is an adjective and it means friendly, and it means fond of feasting, drinking, and merry company. Festive. You know, I had a convivial Thanksgiving break, and you know what? I won't say a shock, but I was surprised that I was going to enjoy my break. I didn't have any plans. End up actually getting into some Thanksgiving grub, and it was really nice, and it was good to see family, and I'm glad that it happened, and I needed that, I think, because I felt great about it. I hope you all had a wonderful Thanksgiving week, break, whatever, it is that you have or you could have. I really can't rationalize the fact that it's December, really, because it's like, you don't even understand. Like, I was trying to go over, just for a podcast sake, everything that's happened in December, because I was going to try to do a little. Listen, it's so much. Like, all the years that have happened to me and us, you, the listeners, of course, have been entrenched with memories and things that have been happening around us in society. But my goodness, this year, 2025, as we've been keeping hope alive, we it's been a lot going on. And I don't know. I can't tell if the year, obviously, when you get older, or as you get older, it goes by fast. But I think because so much has happened, it feels like a fast, long year, if that makes any sense to you, because it's like so much has happened. Like, if you probably thinking of something, it was something that happened this year, and I thought it happened last year, but it was this year. I mean, it's just so much. People have died that have never died before, of course, as it does every year, but it's just, I don't know. But anyway, I'm so glad we all have made it to this day, and we're going to enjoy December. It's going to be awesome. All right. So, metaphysical commercial break, alert. Incense of the season is white sage. Again, white sage is a wonderful tool to purify sacred spaces and ritual tools or objects. It promotes wisdom, clarity, and enhances intuition, and can help in healing the mind, body, and soul. There is no crystal of the month for the month of December on the Cotton Candy Clouds podcast. So let's talk about some things. I wonder, did you know this? The Professional Air Traffic Controllers Organization was a United States trade union of air traffic controllers that operated from 1968 until its decertification in 1981, following an illegal labor strike broken by the Reagan administration. Now, okay, let's talk about this. The irony is that this organization backed Ronald Reagan's run for presidency instead of Jimmy Carter's, because they thought Jimmy hadn't heard their demands and had too much going on within his control and his keep as president. As you know, Jimmy Carter only served one term, and as history tells, Reagan promised these people that he would give them their heart's desire, and he said he would hear them out, and he would help them. And as one does to win, he said those things, and we know that he won that election, right? So, however, when push came to shove in August of 1981, they striked the Professional Air Traffic Controllers Organization because their demands had still not been met, and they still were trying to ensure that, everybody was copacetic, right? So when they striked, they violated a code that states federal government workers cannot strike. So because of this, not only did Reagan not do what he said he might, he fired 11,000 of those people, of those workers. And it shook the table because the amount of time it takes to thoroughly, I don't know if y'all knew this, the amount of time it takes to thoroughly train air traffic controllers is up to 3 years. But they had to make sure that they could make something shake because, you can hire some people, but they're not going to be able to accomplish all that entails their role. So they would do a little something. But it took approximately 10 whole years, yes, for them to become fully restructured properly. And those who striked and were fired never got their jobs back. And in fact, they had to pay fines with no successful appeals. And that, children, is why this year, when the government shut down, no strikes were had. And instead, people called out sick or used PTO. Did you know that history? Okay. I'm personally glad that I searched this up because as far as I was concerned, I thought that in the midst of the government shutdown, the air traffic controllers in particular should have striked, should have walked off. Okay. But now I know why they did not. And, the truth is, do I think the entire world would have changed if they put their boots on the ground and did it anyway? Absolutely. But I know that would have been an alien-like revolutionary act because it would have taken organization and almost unheard of risk and almost unseen sacrifice. So shout out to air traffic controllers. I love y'all. And I hope y'all have a wonderful December. The government shutdown is done. Yeah. So we just gonna keep it at that. You know what I'm saying? So, okay. Speaking of Ronald's, did y'all know this? There is a McDonald's boycott. I don't know if it's still going on, but we finna find out. At least 40 black former franchise owners are suing the fast food giant. I had no idea this was going on. This article that I'm reading from is from June 24th, 2025. So again, I'm like, what y'all mean? Because I didn't know. So more than 40 black former McDonald's franchise owners are collectively suing the fast food giant because it scaled back its diversity, equity, and inclusion programs and allegedly turned its back on them, which we know different companies have done. Okay. The People's Union USA, which is an advocacy group, is leading a week-long boycott of the restaurant. The boycott was set to start Tuesday, I guess within that June of this article being written, with the advocacy group's advocacy group's founder, John Swartz, encouraging the public to avoid eating McDonald's through Monday. What? It is a show of strength, solidarity, people-powered change. Now, he said this in an Instagram post. Let them feel it. Let them hear us. Let this just be the beginning, he wrote on social media. And in a 158-page lawsuit, at least 40 former franchise owners said they decided to sue McDonald's due to the company's systematic racial discrimination against its black franchises. Wow. Plaintiffs put their hearts and souls into their dreams of owning and operating McDonald's stores and building generational wealth for their families, according to the lawsuit. In return, McDonald's directed that plaintiffs solely because they were black could only franchise and operate stores that were in predominantly black neighborhoods. Wow. Okay. These stores had lower sales. Interesting. Okay. And profits than McDonald's stores in white neighborhoods. Wow, white people eat more McDonald's. That's fascinating. McDonald's refused to allow plaintiffs to become franchises in white neighborhoods. The lawsuit also alleged that the fast food chain discriminated against them solely based on their race and breached several agreements. The lawsuit claimed McDonald's didn't offer black franchise owners the same support it offered white franchisees, as well as harassed the plaintiffs. For example, McDonald's refused to allow plaintiffs to sell their preferred black buyers, and it instead forced plaintiffs to sell at lower prices to white buyers. Really? That McDonald's had handpicked, according to the lawsuit, which added that McDonald's executives and managers allegedly forced them into substandard, low-profit stores in predominantly black communities with high crime rates. In a news release issued by the law firm representing the plaintiffs, the former franchise owners voiced their support for the boycott. They said they look forward to their day in court because McDonald's destroyed their hopes and dreams. Interesting. In the meantime, we join the People's Union USA and their organizations and community leaders in calling for a boycott of McDonald's until they keep their promises, renew their commitment to the black community, and finally do right by the black owners and operators like us who deserve but did not get a fair shot at success. In January, McDonald's announced it would be retiring, quote unquote, its DEI initiatives, including ending diversity goals for senior leadership and pausing surveys. I'm sorry, let me just pause. When was this? And I don't mean the DEI, of course, y'all, we're all informed about that, but McDonald's? According to CNN, an executive with McDonald's previously said while some DEI language within the fast food chain changed, the heart of the program remains the same. And that's the end of the article, y'all. What do y'all think? Yeah, that's the end of the article. I'm confused because here's the thing. Again, the DEI thing blew up, of course, when Trump did his thing, said what he said, and companies either panicked or felt pressured or never wanted the DEI initiatives. And so they dismantled them, disbanded them, etc. Right? I didn't know McDonald's was a part of the group that dismantled it, even though they're saying it still is the same. But I just didn't know that McDonald's was a part of this group of companies or corporations that did this. Is it surprising? Of course not. But I'm just like, huh? And then do y'all, let me ask y'all, did y'all hear about the boycott of McDonald's? Now, I'm not going to be at McDonald's. I was never going to be there, but did y'all know this was going on? And matter of fact, I think I might have had some once this year. And it was definitely within, oh no, it wasn't. But still, it's just like, that's how often I eat it, that I actually know when I didn't and did. But it's just like, I guess Target was the big corp. And it's just like, okay, where was McDonald's in all this? I didn't hear anything. I've been in the streets, not the literal streets, but the hypothetical or metaphorical streets. And I didn't hear anything about this. Now, speaking of boycotting, it's a lot, again, like I said, it's a lot going on. Did y'all hear about the Campbell situation? Child. Girl, the cans, the man said that the cans got the meat that's computer generated and it's not real condensed soup, and it's not real food. And he's like, why would I eat it? Then he said made racist comments about the employees there that are Indian. And it's just like, sir. And I have to say, shout out to that security administrator who said, I got to record this man. You know what I'm saying? Because he knew he was tired. See, this is what I've always told people. When people record people and it comes out, just know that those people have been saying that shit for quite some time. And the people who have heard it and are listening and have to listen to that person are tired. And so ultimately they're like, you know what? I'm going to catch this mofo in the act. And guess what they do? They record them. And of course, when people are people and they are who they are, they're going to, of course, repeat what they say. And the people repeat what they say. And that's what that man at Campbell's did. Now, he lost his job, quote unquote, because, you know, these people have investments in these companies. They don't just work for these companies. They're not just higher ups. They have investments. So I'm sure he was fired, but also he, you know, retired and things like that. Just like the Papa John situation. If you don't know, look into it. But, you know, people don't necessarily lose their job per se, but they disappear them in a sense, if you will. But he's no longer the face, okay, of the company. They tried to release a janky statement, only really addressing the chicken, which was very bizarre because if you know anything about any soup company, they have more than chicken. They have turkey, they have beef, you know, some even, I think Campbell's even had one time, I think it's seasonal, but it was like a shrimp condensed. Anyway, my point is that we know that clearly what the man said is it is 3D printed meats. And, you know, the damage control was horrifying. I'm going to be honest. Like, you know, I don't want to work for Campbell's after this, but if I did, I could have helped them because the damage control, it was just not sexy. And it's like, y'all have a lot to control of the damage and you just did not. And it's kind of frightening that you're a $1 billion corporation because they don't just own the soups, y'all. They own Petridge Farm, Snyder, you know, the people make the pretzels, and so many other good brands to me, but unfortunately, you know, they're going to miss out. But it's like, what be going, the thing about this is not what he said. It's actually more so about the damage control, because to me, I'm like, when companies have something like this happen, have anything happen, they are supposed to have departments that literally, this is when they step in and do their job. Okay, they are paid hundreds of thousands of dollars. These individuals or groups or organizations or consultants are paid these hundreds of thousands of dollars to do damage control. And yet, a 7th grader could have done a better job at the shit that they come up with to control the damage. And it's just like, I'm trying to figure out, who are you guys hiring? What are their credentials and why? Because literally you could pay a 7th grader some Jolly Ranchers and get them some shoes. And I promise you, you going to have something. You going to change the minds and the hearts of the people. But Campbell's, you made it worse by releasing this postcard, canvas, wording of speaking about chicken and y'all are for the people and the families. What? I can't. Let's talk about Black Friday. Now, the thing about it is, nobody was really supposed to be, you know, Black Friday was a thing that was not supposed to be a thing, basically, right? Everybody was supposed to be at the house chilling. Again, I told y'all that we'll talk about it again, but, you know, we have to disengage with news outlets, news media and all that, because they just be lying all nilly-willy. They literally say whatever they want. They're really corporate and government paid affiliates, and they're not objective, and they're subjective based off of, again, the check writing, right? So first y'all said that Target not. First, y'all said Target was suffering. Remember, we talked about that. I thought that was a lie. Of course, I'm not at Target, and I'm rooting for anybody who wants to boycott Target or McDonald's. Y'all can do that too, now that we know what they got going on. But I'm here for it. But I just didn't believe, based off of what the news media was saying, that people were really, standing 10 toes down on it. Because also I passed to get to my coffee a Target, and to me, the parking lot is pretty decently full to me, and it has not moved from how it used to be. It's been consistent, the parking lot. Anyway, first they said that the people losing the money, the people at Target. Then they said recently that everybody was shopping on Black Friday. They made millions, billions perhaps. This has been the biggest Black Friday they've ever seen. How? How, God? Because we are broke. People don't have money. Y'all just tried to starve mofos out until you realize the community matters, and people weren't going to let that go. People would boycott. It's like, not y'all lying on national. Not y'all trying to gaslight the people of the United States of America. Like, come on. And it's just getting pathetic. And it's like, again, I ask, like I did before, what's the purpose? Obviously, you're trying to get people to engage in spending this year and to keep spending, and to do it in not isolated time frames, but overall, it seems like when they release these articles about these different corporations that have already stated in different fashions, whether it's the DEI initiatives being disbanded, or it's them not paying their workers, or them laying off hundreds of thousands of people, you're still trying to get us to shop with these people. And it's just like, you're doing it in a way that's so bizarre. It's like, I understand that the United States has a low literacy rate. I get it. However, you still have to give the people some credit. You know what I'm saying? Like, people have eyeballs, they can see, they're living their lives still. Like, let's try to credit the people for having a little bit. Sometimes they ain't got brain cells, but let's credit them a little bit now. Y'all can't just be lying all nilly-willy talking about people at the stores and they not there. They're not there. So anyway, per usual, there is an abundance of toilet water shit going on, right, about this world. And even still, if you listen to episode 4, October We Back, I hope you did. If you haven't, go back. Despite what Big Brother is doing, corporations are doing, ultimately, I think the issue is not them per se, but it's a human issue and an intellectual issue. Remember, I said people pedestalize themselves, simultaneously sacrificing their humanity just to dismiss others' experiences and to dismiss how and what people are going through, right? And then the next one is people are gummy headed. They're new. Remember, I was just telling you, people are a little smart, but again, many people are gummy headed. Their neural pathways are clogged. Their neurons aren't synapsing, and people can't rationalize, let alone critically think through what is happening in society as a whole as well. So ultimately, I think all these things make it so many people don't realize they can be the change they wish to see in the world. I think people get discouraged. I think people get apathetic, and they just, okay. In episode 4 again, October We Back, I started that list, remember, of things people can do, and we the people too, the listeners of the Cotton Candy Clouds podcast, can do to improve our lives in the midst of it all, and to evolve and to revolt without sacrificing our livelihood and our mental health. Because even when it comes to revolution, it has to change. Revolution in, the 1800s is going to be different from the evolution in 1970 versus 2025. You feel me? Okay, so this is the list. I'm going back over the old list now. So this is what people can do. Me and you, everybody, whatever. Encourage somebody, Lord. Turn the TV off. Remember, like Kendrick Lamar said. Now, this doesn't mean that you can't stop. I mean, you have to stop, watching your favorite movies or whatever. Don't do that. What I'm saying is disengage with the news media as best as one can. Of course, be informed, but trust there are levels. And I think people overindulge. And again, you have to set up your timelines online, on social media, and with people to ensure that you can disengage a proper amount from the news media as best as you can. Okay. We're not going to number them. The next one is, it's them damn phones. Okay. I understand that everything damn near is on your phone. Your life is on your phone, quote unquote. So you believe. But I feel like one of the best things you can do in times like these is to inch away from your phone, interacting with your phone, making it so that everything is on your phone and you have to reach for your phone. You know what I'm saying? Because it's starting to become overwhelming, I think, for people. And it's also just not healthy. Our eyeballs are suffering. Our hands are suffering. It's giving different, the low electromagnetic waves. Like, this is real, y'all. Put the damn phone down if you can. Try. All right. The next one is give your time, to the people, places, and things that need it. Okay, I have an example. Giving your time. You can babysit for someone for free. Or $5 if you must, but mainly for free. You can drive cancer patients to their appointments. Hey, this is giving your time. The next one, donate extra money to people, places, and things that need it. Instead of these, I'm going to say it, these mega churches that keep asking for 20,000 and 1,200 and all these particular numbers, and they arguing with you back and forth about your mortgage. You can give to people money that need it. You can give, however you see fit, a regular person. There are organizations to help babies get diapers. You can buy some diapers for somebody. And, there are even things like, what's the site called? Kickstarter. No, what's the other one? You can do the Kickstarter too, but GoFundMe, like something like that. You could, spend a day looking at people's things, give them some money. Wikipedia. They're begging for money, and I understand it, but you can even donate to them. They need a little money. PBS, they need a little money. Okay. All right. Support small business is the next one. It is Merry Merchants Month. And usually every month there's something centering small business. Small business is a broad term. I think for me, small business would be like a business that is not quite in the millions plural, but kind of there and below, if you will. I say define small business how you want, but we damn sure know that small business is not McDonald's and Target. Okay. So anyway, get into small businesses, supporting small businesses. You can do that in a lot of different ways. You can buy their stuff. You can retweet, repost, their stuff, just different things. One of the ones that I'm going to post on social media is Shani Darden. She's an esthetician, and she basically was like, she maximizes results. She minimizes hype. She creates product that she couldn't find. Okay. She built her studio and her reputation as one of the most sought after estheticians in the world. Wonderful. You can support her. Of course, the Cotton Candy Clouds podcast is on Twitter, Facebook, Blue Sky, and a few other places if you can find it, but I'll be posting it there. Okay. The next one is clean up some litter. That's self-explanatory. Ew. The next one is pick up a new hobby. Come on, learn to crochet, learn to make ornaments. It's the holiday season. Okay. The next one is learn how to do something. Not a hobby, but just to do something that's something that can keep giving. For many people, it should be learn how to read. Again, because we're talking about that literacy. And for some people, it could be how to unclog a sink. You can learn how to do that. Okay. And going back to literacy, one of the ones something else you could do is read a book. There's no book of the month for December on the Cotton Candy Clouds podcast, but even still, You can read one of them, or read something. Okay. And again, fiction is better. Everybody should read fiction. Okay. Another one is to form, build good relationships with people you already know, excluding bad blood relationships or no contact relationships. You can develop your family member relationships, friendships, neighbors, all that kind of stuff, community orientation of the sorts. Build better on it. Okay. The next one is taking care and loving on your dwelling, or in your dwelling, or whatever, but your home basically. An example of that I said is to throw away expired food or tattered clothing. Something small like that. Repaint the walls, reorganize one of your rooms or whatever, something like that. Okay. And then self-love and self-care, that's self-explanatory because that's subjective to whomever. All right. So now I've added on. Okay, I've added on to that list. We about to get out in a minute. I've added on a few things. Okay, how did I forget this one? Is journal. Journal, people. Shut the hell up when you turn down off your phone. You put your phone down. Build those relationships, but also journal. It helps. I'm telling you, I don't care what anybody says. Getting it out on paper helps. You go back, you read it, because literacy matters, of course, and you see how crazy you sound. You see how much you needed help in this scenario, or how much you were over exaggerating or dramatic or whatever. Journaling is so good as a form of introspection and reflection. Okay. The next new one is go to places, events, festivals, be convivial. Okay. Concerts, museums, aquariums, boat rides, etc. Go places and do things, people. The next one is go outside and literally touch grass. Yes, touch it. Get acquainted and reacquainted with nature. Touch a tree. Yes, I know it's cold. It's December, okay? But you can still involve yourself in nature, all right? The next one is take care of your transportation. It could be a car, a bike. It could be your legs. Whatever it is, just like your home, just like you would repaint, take care of your transportations, all right? The last one is to clear, clean, organize electronics. It's important. It's important. Your email, get it together. You don't need 7,000. You don't need that. Okay. You don't need that. All right. Your phone, them old pictures, clean it up. Laptops. Oh my God. It's so many things. Desktops, smart TVs, old pagers, even old cell phones, even clean it up, organize it, clear it out. Those are the add-ons, you guys. You all. I love y'all. Thank you so much for listening. The quote of the day is by a Hungarian American psychologist, and this is from his book, Flow, The Psychology of Optimal Experience. And I cannot pronounce his name, but just know this is a great quote. And again, this will be posted on anywhere you can find on social media, the Cotton Candy Clouds podcast. All right, the quote goes, quote of the day: to overcome the anxieties and depressions of contemporary life, individuals must become independent of the social environment to the degree that they no longer respond exclusively in terms of its rewards and punishments. To achieve such autonomy, a person has to learn to provide rewards to themselves. They have to develop the ability to find enjoyment and purpose regardless of external circumstances. Hello, it all's coming together. All right. Thank you so much for listening to the Cotton Candy Clouds podcast. We are in the last month of 2025. Woo, we kept hope alive and we survived. Love y'all. Talk to you later.